Hey, Sergeant America here, once again late to the party. As you can see, I'm wearing this nice, wonderful apparel that I have to thank Comic Book Look guys and the Doctor Who show that they're going to get started. Cannot wait for that to happen. I am not a watcher. I was a lover of Doctor Who when I was young. Loved the K9, the Doctor with the long scarf, black and white, I guess, as it just transitioned into color. Starts to give you a little idea on how old I am. But today I'm thinking that here comes confessionals. As a comic book person, we all like to think we have certain styles and traits, things that we enjoy, things we don't. I was always that person that wanted the picture perfect face, image, body shape. I know a lot of us joke on artists who totally go out of control on the size of their people and too many bulging muscles or some kind of wackadoo look to them. I definitely was a person that I appreciated art when it was in its cleanest, finest, most tailored moments, and that's how I collected my comic books when I was really young. I didn't get anything. I remember there was a trade or graphic novel of Wolverine. As I'm flipping through it, I mean, it's all watercolors and brush marks, and I'm like, this is horrible. I don't want this. That was definitely me as the child snob, looking at something and not appreciating art for its art. As I've continued to read, I've learned to enjoy styles. And as comics transition and somebody draws 5 issues and then the next person draws 5 issues, each trade has a different style. Sometimes they're even switching writers at that point, but a lot of times I could see that an artist might get really tired of doing certain series. And now I'm learning to look at a comic and appreciate it for different appearances. And I think that's the thing that I would ask that you do also, that, tell me in the comments below artists that you like, that ones that you don't. But sometimes artists that you may not be your style, but you can appreciate their art. Definitely Oddfellow Thoughts has helped me out on this, where he's pointed out certain covers that have a certain feel, style, look. Certain artists who either do digital or by hand, so that they continue to develop a whole deep look to a comic book. The Elektra series that came out just recently, the first 5, had such beautiful watercolors. It had such a touch and a style to it that I fell in love with that. I fell in love with the style as opposed to just loving individual pictures. I don't know if it was anything that I would put up on my walls, that if that's the kind of art that I was, that I think about, but I collected all the trades, or sorry, all the individual issues of that. Actually, that one I'm ahead of the time on, and I think that I would even maybe go back and get it in trade. I definitely enjoyed the style. Along with that, I guess with Confessions, I was always that kind of guy who picked up his Thunderbolts, his Avengers, his X-Men, his Justice League, whatever. I was there for the fights, I was there for the color, I was there for, a good sharp image, and usually for the consistent look of a book. As I started growing older, as I started talking to other people, either on YouTube or in communities, when I got to bigger towns that liked comics, the next thing I was learning was step outside your comfort zone and maybe pick up something you're not used to. Along those lines also, it was always, if I'm reading a comic in public, there's always that stigma that some people want to try and push on you, and, the kiddie books and all that. Well, I mean, something I picked up was Hack Slash. Definitely not a kiddie book. Definitely not your mama's comic. Part of it, yeah, is that 8-year-old boy in me who saw the cover and was titillated by it. Some of it was that, I was looking to go outside my comfort zone. So with this, definitely excellent work by Tim Seeley and Stefano Caselli. Tim Seeley was a writer, and then Stefano did the artwork in the first maybe 5 issues. The thing with this is that this omnibus is a collection of different artists, all writing, all drawing what Tim Seeley had an idea for. By doing this, you get drastically different art styles, drastically different feels, sometimes characters that you wouldn't expect. Chucky from Child's Play, Evil Ernie, who I knew nothing about until I read it. You're starting to get into all these different feels. One of the issues is Scotty Young is at a conference, and there's somebody killing artists at the conference. That one totally caught me off guard too, because then it's Scotty Young who's doing all the pencils on it. It is a totally different idea for me to jump every 5 issues to a drastically different different artist, to get such crazy styles. Now, also, when you look at the book with Hack and Slash, the other issue is this TNA? What I like about it is, while there is TNA, a lot of it is a smart play that the artist, and I think Tim Seeley, has, where it's also the idea of the closer you get to the graphicness of sex, the more there's danger in it. Sometimes this is shown in great literature along the lines of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, some Dracula, that sex, and you also see it only in Friday the 13th and some of the maybe Nightmare on Elm Street movies. The closer you get to sex, the closer you get to that, there more punishment and death is dealt. I don't know if you would say it's an act of karma, if it's an act of God, but in the idea of it is so often that there is love, and then there is sex, and as you get to that sex, if it's not within the confines of marriage, if it's the innocence of 2 children, 2 teens, 2 20s, who is exploring, that there's danger in it. And I think that's represented in here as somebody gets to about the point where they're going to kiss or make out, like you often see in, like I said, the Friday the 13th movies. That's right when the killer gets there and starts killing. The young lady on the cover, Cassie Hack of Hack and Slash, had a mother who is a serial killer who was killing the children in the school who were making fun of Cassie. At that point, Cassie was the comic book nerdy girl who had the glasses, the $5 haircut, the clothes that were not in style. After Cassie has to fight and kill her mother, she becomes the vixen you see on the cover, which she does to represent or to try and capture the killers. As they often say, the killers are often attracted to the idea of sex and the punishment of sex. So there is an intelligence to it, which is always the toughest thing for any of us who read comics, to try and explain to anybody who doesn't that there are deeper levels. Which makes us hate it when there's not deeper levels to our comics. You can enjoy, there's certain ones, a good Deadpool, a Harley Quinn that's funny and slapstick. Even in them, sometimes there is a deeper message, but so often, I know it's like when I talk about some of my other comics, they're just so weird and unexplainable that sometimes you can't see that message also. Or the writer just needed to kick a filler issue out, so you didn't get anything good out of it. I have collected 3 volumes of Hack and Slash. I probably would continue to do so. I do like that old villains, old parts from other stories continue to tie back, and that comes to Tim Seeley being the main writer of the series, that he strengthens, he has a whole vision, I believe, of what he's doing. Even bringing back characters like Chucky, bringing back people that they thought they've gotten rid of, friends of Cassie Hack and Vlad, who is the masked, large, killer-like goon who is her friend. It's definitely the Beauty and the Beast feel of it, but they're the best of friends. And that's also what's interesting, is it's the idea that if you pair two people up, they don't have to be in love. That they are friends, that Cassie has her issues with knowing sometimes what sex brings to the involved storyline, that she is looking more for a love, that Vlad himself is looking more for a deep relationship that maybe not isn't even just love, that's the friendship that he has with Cassie. And it's been a very good series where it continues to be deep in my mind, that they continue to have a lot of fun. There's some definitely silly issues that I think are definitely there to break up the monotony of the idea of everything has to be so deep and dark and foreboding. So the Hack and Slash series has been very excellent. I've enjoyed it. It is definitely one of those that you also do need a breakup comic in between. The styles are so different that you could probably get through a whole omnibus without having to read something different, but because it's the same characters, because it follows along the same plots of that Scooby-Doo, who's the killer, how do you stop the killer idea. I don't know that Scooby-Doo ever had killers, but along those somewhat lines of the villain of the week, it's been a very excellent series that I've enjoyed. Now, to bounce around and say that not everything is just fun and silly, I was able to get Secret Origins of Superheroes. I showed you previously the Runaways series. That was this fun backer, whatever you want to call it. This one, I think, it came out in 80, goodness, 79, and was able to get at a garage sale kind of swap meet kind of gathering. It was very funny. It was, the original team up of Batman, Superman, the mysteries of the elongated man, how Aquaman got his powers. I think that's interesting. It's got the origin of Robin and Supergirl from Krypton. It's definitely your fun, your superheroes, I remember those Super Friends issues. So this, to me, is the Super Friends of comic books. Fun. I mean, when you're looking for those fun reads, go back to your, pick up a horrible issue, and I just mean condition, of the swap meet, Batman, Superman's, Super Friends, whatever. They tend to be just fun. You see all the wonderful plot holes that you could tell that they truly wrote it for adults writing for children. That, they had fun with how creative they could be. Not everything had to be set in reality fact that we, I think, demand now. So it was enjoyable along that. I mean, the original 95 cents, it did cost me a little more than 95 cents, just because it was in fairly nice condition. I mean, it's definitely yellowed, and but all the pages intact. It's strong spine on it still. Fun. It was a fun purchase, a fun buy. It was my nostalgia buy, so that probably is why I paid more than what I normally would for the book. So I definitely enjoyed it. Along those lines, since it's kind of my throw out or shout out to the comic book look guys, I'm just kind of going a little all over the chart today. And the Forgotten Realms Legend of Drizzt Omnibus was something else I collected out of a Last Stop CD shop purchase. I got it at a great buy. Normally it's $25, so I'll probably paid about half to a quarter what they paid. It's, harkens back to my love of the D&D cartoon when I was young, and this also plays on to when I played D&D in the 90s. And loved the Drizzt. Loved the reading of the series when it was TSR. And now it's Wizards of the Coast. So, you know, I love my Dungeons and Dragons. I continue to enjoy the book series, and this one is just definitely a good, fun, easy read for all those people who did play Dungeons and Dragons. It's the story of Drizzt as he was born and raised in Metzenbornsen, and it continues along with the idea of the Dark Elf all the way up until he reaches the surface. So I, you know, love the art, love the style. It pretty much follows exactly the storylines of the books. So I guess I would just say off of the art alone, it was a good collection. If you get it at a good buy and you love that Dungeons and Dragons stuff, I would say go for it. It was, you know, fun. It was enjoyable. So as I'm jumping all over the place and I'm now finding that I'm getting to the mumbling stage, I guess I have to go to the next party. Once again, thankful for everybody who watches the videos. Thankful for all the other YouTubers that are out there. Definitely continue to support the community. Watch everybody's videos. Comment. Tell them how you feel. Let me know what you thought of all of this. Thankful for the Comic Book Look guys who gave me a jump and a start into being in videos, and thankful to all the guys that support me and all the people, ladies, and everyone that's out there. Love the videos, love the unboxings, love the showing of your collections, love the hauls, love the reviews, love it all. So thank you, and see you at the next party.